me now, I ain't no holy individual, but I am righteous. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna steal from you, I'm not gonna cheat you. I'm gonna tell you the truth, whether you like that or not. That's it.
Retrospec, what's good, my digger?
What up?
All right, cool. No doubt.
Oh, you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Might have been on my end because I didn't have the speakers on. My bad.
All right.
My bad. What's goody?
Shit, bro. You know what I mean? Just been working on beats all day, you know?
Yeah, that's what's up.
I actually took off of work today to work on some beats, bro. You know what I mean? So
Like
sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah,
you gotta do it.
Right, it'd be like that. So you're pretty much, if it's safe to say, kind of new on the scene, correct? As far as getting in the underground game or whatever. Yeah, so for those that don't know, let them know who you are and where you from. And say it proudly.
I'm from Strong Island, my nigga. Brentwood, bro.
All right.
You know, EPMD, Craig Mack, you know what I mean? The names goes on, RIP. But yeah, man, I always been into music, man. I've been doing this for a minute. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm here now, bro. You know what I mean? A lot of people been tapping in lately, you know what I mean? So it's been beautiful.
Yeah, so you from Brentwood, you know, next door to CI, not too far from Wyandanch. You know,
yes, sir, yes, sir.
I'm not, you know, it's crazy because I'm from Nassau. I'm not really familiar with Suffolk like that. I was always going out to the city. So
right.
you know, I never really knew much about that. The furthest I used to go was like Sunrise Mall.
Yeah, that's like the cutoff point.
Right. Because I think that's before you get to Amityville, right? Sunrise Mall. Yeah, over there.
And then it turned to the.
Right. So, how did all this hip hop making beats thing happen for you? Was it just naturally being from Long Island with all that legacy around?
Yes, you could say that. I also musical and stuff like that, so I've always been around stuff, and I would always hear things and be like, "Yo, why I feel like I heard that somewhere else before?" You know what I mean? And it just had my mind wondering for years. I started out with Free Loop, so I wasn't really doing much there, you know, 2005, 2004, but just growing up, man, and hearing that old music, I would wake up to. My mom would cook to. My mom would drive me to, you know, school to or whatever, and just hearing that all the time, and hearing stuff that I could even take when I was 10 years old and stuff. Like I'm like, yo, I feel like I could do something with that. Yeah, I was really into the music, man, happy because of my moms and my family.
Right, because you seem pretty young. Like, are you in your late 20s, early 30s?
Yeah, I'm actually about to be 30 in October.
All right, so it's funny because why go the boom bap route and not what's happening today? Because usually the generation your age, you know, is into what's going on today. Why'd you take this route?
Literally just because of what I just said. It's funny because when I grew my flat top and I started dressing like this like 12, 13 years ago, my mom kind of, she knew what's going to happen. And I'm like, she's like, yo, I support anything you do. But for some reason, I knew you was going to dress retro, like ever since you were younger. And I'm like, you know what I mean? And I also felt like making, because I do make the trap and the drill, but I felt like doing boom bap is more, you know, kind of right next to the way I look, my style, you know what I mean? So it had to all coincide. I didn't want to come out making trap beats and be on some Migos type stuff, and then I look like this. So,
you know, that's crazy because I saw a video that y'all did. I think it might have been recently, and I saw the haircut. I'm like, yo, he looked like me back in '91.
Hell yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? Because I'm 47 years old. You know what I mean? And whatnot. So that's seen. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. And the funny thing is, like, I grew out my hair like in 2010, 2011, and then I just been doing this for a minute. I was with a group called Tribe NYC, you know, Kid Love, Fat Shouts, Manolo, Teddy, all them. And I was talking to them on MySpace and shit. I was living in Florida and Virginia at the time. Like, I was back and forth. And, you know what I mean? I was talking to them on MySpace and shit, and they had, like, the retro scene packed out here. Like, Tumblr days, they was, you know, in Soho and Union Square dressing like, and I was like, yo, I didn't know there was other people dressing like me in New York. I lived in Florida at the time. I'm like, nah. So I tapped in with them, and it's like, yo, bro, come through whenever. We got a spot for you to stay, all that. So when I got off probation in 2012, I dipped.
Right.
I went with my dudes and shit, and you know, shit, a lot happened after that. But
word. So, this is strictly for my diggers. So we're gonna jump into some real beat science. Okay, so
Hell yeah.
when you first started making beats, you said you started with Fruity Loops, right?
Yeah, I started with Fruit Loops, like maybe Fruit Loops 3 or 4 or whatever, you know what I mean?
So what
Then
are
it
you
went
using
to
now?
like MPC.
Okay, so you went from Fruity
Using
Loops
the
to
MPC.
the MPC?
No. So I went from Fruity Loops to Reason for like a good 5 years. I was using Reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then from Reason, I went to the hardware. You know what I mean? I've always been into MPC, so I was like, you know what? Let me start. Like I'm looking at all the 3 MPCs or 4 MPCs I have right now, like the 1, the 1000, and the 2000. You know what I mean?
Okay, right. So is there a different sound when you switch from software to hardware?
Of course, bro. For some reason, it sounds a little bit more like whatever frequencies and stuff that's happening in these older machines, bro. It drives the drums differently, everything. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when I'm in like an old school type of mode, like most of the beats I sent to LG were all made on the 2000. You know what I mean? The MPC 2000. So
Right. Because I was on the MPC 2000 for like 20 years. I just switched over to the MPC Studio.
oh, where? How you liking that?
I like it. I'm not going back to the MPC. You know what I mean? It's just the workflow is easier. I can send beats quicker. Because before I had the MPC and I had a 16-track Force Tech track board.
Yeah.
And that was just hectic. People be wanting beats, but it was just too much to have to put it on the board and burn it on disk and put it in the computer, rip it. It was just too much.
Oh, you was doing it that way because I think the 2000 XL didn't have a USB input.
No.
Yeah. So that's why you had to do it that way. Because I don't do it that way. I mean, like, because these are, this one, the 2000 came out, well, the 1000 came out in 2005. So it has a USB input. So I could just drop my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you on your phone? Because sometimes you're going in and out.
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes I hear you going in and out or what is. I guess somebody's texting you or something.
Nah, I'm not even on my joint. I'm just talking to you.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, it was just a long process. But once I started rocking with the XL, man, I mean the MPC Studio, it just much better. Way better. I love it. So
I've been at Sam Mash, like, cause I work at Sam Mash for like 4 years. I've been at Sam Mash for a minute, so that's how I know about all this stuff. Like, I actually work at a music store, so I always try to tell people to get the hardware, because a lot of times, like, I think hardware is coming back, bro. A lot of customers I get, they worried more about doing everything in a box than having to go to the computer now. You know what I mean? So it's coming. It repeats itself. So
right. So this is strictly for my diggers. So let me ask you this question. I mean, are you digging, because you're retro. So are you digging in the crates or are you digging or both?
I do both, but I can't really stray away from the records, bro. I will be out here digging. You know what I mean? I will take the time to go to a record store and find 10, 12 records and find 8 duds, but find 1 or 2 on those other 4 records, and I'm like, that makes me happy, because I know that I might not be able to, like, other people might not be able to find that same thing I just found. You know what I mean? And if they are, they're not finding it in the quality I found it at, because a lot of times vinyl sounds better.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So there's some digging spots where you are out there in LI, deep out in LI. There's some record stores.
Well, so right now I'm not living in LI. I'm living in Brooklyn. But yeah, there's a lot of record stores in LI, bro. But I had to drive there back then. But now I could just go to the thing, or I can go to Rebel Rouser up the street, in Marcy. You know what I mean? Like, I live in Marcy, so I could just go up the street to Murder and Broadway. There's like 4 record stores. You know what I mean?
Right. Gotcha. So you're digging in the crates and whatnot. So I mean, is your style mostly looping or is it chopping? What do you prefer?
I definitely, I've had my shares of loops, but a lot of times I do the chopping. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take a beginning of a record and kind of fuse it with another part of the record just to make it make sense and give it more body. But for the most part, I'm a chop heavy dude, bro. Like, yeah, some of the stuff I did, you'll hit is loops, but not really. It won't be a full loop. It'll be like a loop, and then I did something else at the end from another part of the song. You know what I mean? So it won't just be
Right. So are you one of those guys who like to take the loop and chop it up in like 32 pieces?
Yeah, maybe 17, 16, depending on how I feel. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll do 24. You know what I mean? Because of the pads. You know what I mean? I'm not 24. Like 32. the pad. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, right. Now, do you use all 32 chops?
It's funny because when I'm actually making it, if I hear something right away, I'll use whatever the chop it is. Sometimes I won't even get to the 30 the pad bank beat. You know what I mean? I'll just hear something, like, you know what I mean? Nah, I could do that right now. And then what I might do is I might make the beat from pad bank A, and then from pad bank A, the beat's already made. Let me hear what pad bank 2 sound like, and I'll be like the B one. And I'm here the pad bank B, and I'm like, y'all could probably make a second beat out of this. You know what I mean? So I'll do that, and then I'll compare, like, okay, which one do I like better? You know what I mean?
Right.
Beats out of it and see which one I like better. I do that a lot.
Okay, yeah. So now, when it comes to drums, where are you getting your drums from? Are you getting straight off vinyl, or where are they coming from? All over?
It's all over vinyl. I mean, you know, I do a little bit of sometimes the sample packs, but a lot of times even with the sample packs, I'll do a little bit of EQing on it, so it'll still be mine. You know what I mean? It won't sound like how it came right out the sample pack.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes I find vinyl, sometimes I find it off of tapes, all that, bro. I be sampling from tapes too, so.
Ooh, okay.
For real.
Wow, you retro for real. That's what I'm talking about. So,
Yeah,
so now when you start a beat, do you have a set like drum kit that you use, or are you starting fresh drums all the time?
fresh drums all the time, but like Apollo Brown once said, you know, fast shouts to Apollo Brown, every like 30 sounds that they use. You might not think it, and you might not go into a folder and it's not, you know, all pretty for you, like, you know what I mean, folder 1, folder 2. But every producer has that 1 or 2 or 3 drum pattern or like 30 sounds that they use that they might not realize they're using it, but they only use about 30 sounds out of their whole 6,000 sounds or whatever they might have. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's pretty dope. So now when it comes to drums, right, do you feel you always have to finger drum it, or do you loop up a drum pattern? Are you opposed to that?
Finger drumming, I don't really do. I like to do, track 1, snare, track 2, you know what I mean? But I could, I just rather not to, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Now, what I'm really was asking, like, are you opposed to just looping a drum, finding a drum loop that's still
100%.
looping it? You're not opposed to that?
No, not at all. 100% I would do that. But the thing is, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to EQ the drums that I already looped. Plus, I'm going to put another set of drums under it to give it more of a layer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then put the compressor on a channel and just kind of glue everything together. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's kind of ill. So when sitting down to make a beat, what comes first, the drums or the sample?
That's funny. It really depends on what type of mood I'm in, bro. It might be I might start off. I mean, most of the time I do start off with the sample, you know what I mean? But I might be like, let me do drums first. Like, it just depends on how I feel. You know what I mean? But 80% of the time I'm doing the sample first. I'm chopping up the sample and then I'm adding drums after.
Gotcha. So you're basically playing the drum to the sample, not the sample to the drums.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see as a difference in the beat when you do it like that, or is really no difference?
It's definitely easier to have a drum already there and then put a sample over it.
Right.
So I challenge myself by like making a sample sound a certain way and then trying to figure out drums to like fit that specific sample. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It depends on how I.
Yeah, because I speak to a lot of beat makers, producers, or whatever, and a lot of them always say they strictly like, yo, it's the sample first. Mm-hmm. You know, whereas me right now, the stage I'm in now, is the drums. You know, the drums help me get a groove, and then I can play. As long as that drum is tight, pretty much whatever I put over it is going to sound pretty dope.
Yep.
You know, it's going to sound pretty dope or whatever. So when back to digging in the crates, do you have a certain genre that you look for? Or is it just really don't matter? It's just whatever's funky.
Honestly, I'm a, you know, truth be told, I'm a dollar crate person, bro.
Me too. I'm not spending mad bread on no records.
Bro, I mean, I would if I could, like Alchemist and Madlib and them spending $40, $50 per record, or $100 per. If I could do that, I'll do it. But I'm more of a person where I'll take somebody else's junk that's 50 cents and I'll see on something, you know what I mean, on it.
Right. You ever go digging like at flea markets or the Goodwill?
Goodwill, yes. Flea markets, yes. I haven't recently because, you know, COVID and all that, but I have before. Yeah, man, they got some stuff there. But sometimes I even I even go digging on the net, like on TrackLib and stuff. You ever heard of TrackLib?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sounds
Sample
like
free, royalty free, right?
Right. Well, it's not royalty free. You could pay for the sample to get cleared right then and there, depending on how many seconds you use. So what I like about that is because you don't got to worry about, you know, getting haggled for no samples and nothing, even though the producer's not supposed to clear the sample anyway. That's just how I feel. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I do that. And sometimes I like to go to TrackLib because they have the stems. So if you like that falsetto that you hear the lady saying or she's singing, you could take that. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So back to what you said about clearing samples. At your stage of the game, do you feel you need to clear samples right now?
Nah. It's actually like one of those things where like if you kind of don't go over a certain radar, they're not coming to check you. You know what I mean? Right. Like you go like Drake radar for them to come back, or they might do what they did to Jay-Z and Tim and wait for 30 years, 20 years for that song to be going like Big Pimpin', and then they'll come. You know what I mean?
By that time, you got the money to pay them.
At that point, you know what I mean? But nah, I'm not doing that right now unless I'm going through TrackLib, and unless it's like, you know, because TrackLib it's real cheap to clear sample. It's like it's $50, $500, or $1,000. I think the $50 one is 3 seconds. The $500 one is like 8 seconds, and then the other one is 8 seconds or more. You know what I mean? So it's kind of ill, bro. But nah, I don't really clear samples. I don't really go through that right now. I mean, like I said, it's not really up to the producer. Like if I'm selling a beat to somebody and, you know, there's no paperwork that says I got to clear the sample, I'm not clearing it. You know what I mean? If you get in trouble for it, of course we all get in trouble for it. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to, if you're a high, you know, upper echelon dude, you're supposed to be really clearing those samples.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. True indeed. So the BPMs of your beats, what range do you like to stick with in between?
Surprisingly, it could be from 70 to 90, bro. Like I really all over the place with it. You know what I mean? So I might want to get a little slow, Rock Marciano, West Side Gun type flow for 74, 75, 76. Then I might want to do some 90, 89. I might want to do 85, 84. It depends really how the sample sounds.
Right.
If the sample is giving me like I'm chopping it up and doing much to a little slower. But if I'm doing a lot and I'm trying to kind of make it sound like something totally different and not keep the same as what the sample sounds like, I'll do faster.
Gotcha. So basically, like when you turn the machine on, do you set the tempo first? How do you know what tempo to set it? I mean,
I just tap. I tap once I got my samples chopped, and I got like sequence I want to kind of do, or I'm about to do my sequence, I'll just tap the tempo to kind of like how I want it. So like if I already mess with this, I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds dope. Let me see if I could, you know what I mean? Like I'll start tapping, you know what I mean? And then it'll fit, and then I'll, you know, sometimes I might time stretch, depends on how I feel.
So that's the tap tempo thing, you're hitting that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know if you use your tap tempo in the MPC studio.
I haven't, you know. A lot of times I just go in, I set a tempo, just depend. I think of a year in school, in high school, because I went to high school between 89 and 92.
I like that.
And I'm like, all right, well, I'm in the 87 mood today. Let me take it back to junior high, 87, and you know what I mean?
I'm also a weirdo too, because if I'm sitting here in my little spot and I'm going through like records, I might get an actual metronome, you know what I mean? And I might be like, you know what I mean, with my shit right here, like I might do it like that. So it just depends on how I feel, you know what I mean? Sometimes like the MPC tempo is not the same as like other tempos. So
right. So when you're making the beat, how many tracks normally are your beats?
Between like maybe 5 and 10.
5 and 10. Okay.
Sometimes it could be a little more simple. Sometimes it could be more like, you know, a bell here and like different tracks just added up together. So it might be between 5 and 10.
Right. And when you're doing song mode, how many sequences are you linking together in song mode?
Well, so when I did song mode, I don't do song mode anymore. I haven't did song mode since the 1000. But when I did, I had like maybe three sequences I put together. But with song mode, I don't really do that. It's funny. I'm a weirdo. I make the beat. Then once the beat is made, I automatically track it. If I'm gonna do something with it. But if I'm not, save it and go to the next beat. That's literally what I try to make like 6-7 beats a day, bro.
Got you. So how many bars do you set your you know, what's your bars? Is it, do you start off with 1 bar, 2 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, 16?
I do 4-bar loops because it gives you an opportunity for like the second time the sample comes around to change up a little bit.
Right.
You know, I hear people do 2-bar loops or 3-bar loops, but I think 4 or 8. I mean, when I'm doing trap and I'm doing drill, I do 8. But you know what I mean? You know, when you're doing regular boom bap, 4 is really all you need. The first 2 could sound the same, and the second one I like to have it change up.
Would you say that boom bap, it doesn't require as much than the other genres?
Nah, I would say boom bap and find a sample and putting it together and making it sound totally different is harder than me going. You know, I don't know. I feel like you can make a trap beat like that, like doom doom ding doom ding doom ding doom. Like it's mad to make a trap beat. But if you sitting down with a sample and you're trying to make that sound totally different, you try and chop it up and turn it to something new, it's way more complicated to do like a boom bap or like a sample beat than to just
Right.
You know, play your own stuff and just, you know, it's mad easy to do that.
Right. Because a lot of people try to say, oh, he's just sampling, but everybody hears record differently. We mean you can get the same record, but we're gonna hear that loop different. We're gonna chop it up differently. It all comes down to creativity because our talent is not in playing; it's really our ear.
The fact.
When it comes down to samples or whatever. So, what do you have an ear for? What sounds good? You know what I mean?
Right.
We spoke about this before through the text. Let's break down your understanding of what the difference between a producer and a beat maker is. How do you see that? Or is there a difference?
There is, but if I was to play devil's advocate, I'd have a 2-part answer to that question. Yeah, you can. I mean, you could call yourself a beat maker, but I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like when you call yourself a producer, it's kind of like calling yourself a chef. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, yo, I'm a chef. You know what I mean? But you could just be a cook. You know what I mean? I'm not just a cook. You know what I mean? And I'm one of those people that like, yeah, call me a beat maker because I do make beats. But I feel like producers see the joint all the way through. A beat maker might just sell a beat on BeatStars and then keep it moving. A producer will see it from the top to bottom. Like, okay, they'll be there for the tracking session. They'll be there with the artist. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes the producers do the Dr. Dre thing. Like, nah, I need you to do it again. Like, I feel like that's a real producer. Like, it's not really an engineer or whatever. I feel like the producer sees your joint come from when he turns on that MPC and starts making that beat to the end when your vocals are on that.
Gotcha. So here's my take on it, right? You have beat makers, okay. They have the raw skill. You know what I mean?
Right.
They grab the samples, they put together, they make the hot beat. All right. So I see it like this, and I'm proud to call myself a beat maker or producer, either one. But the beat maker is to me is the foundation a lot of times of being a producer. You know.
Right.
Now you have a beat maker who can become a producer, but then you have some producers who aren't beat makers. Let's say like a Puffy who don't touch pads, from what I understand. You know what I mean? He don't touch pads. He just knows how to make it hot. You know, turn this up, turn that down, EQ this, EQ that. You know what I mean? But it's the beat maker to me that's going and finding the samples, chopping, manipulating it on the simplest form. You know what I'm saying? And putting his soul and his body into it. But, you know, when he gets with an artist and he's made the beat as the beat maker, but now he's coaching them, say it like this. Wait a minute, this song sounds more like a female song, rhyme about a female. Okay, boom, this is where the hook is going to be. This is where you come in at, you know? I think that's the difference because I'm sure you've done it before because I'm sure you don't always get to work in the studio with an artist. You said you sent Ella G some tracks. Do you get to work with him in the studio?
Ella G lives up the block for me, bro. So I do.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
But there's some artists, there's some beat makers nowadays, let's say the ones overseas. Right. So like the ones overseas that have to like send beats over. You know what I mean? A lot of times what happens is the artist they send the beat to doesn't know the vision, so they'll come in where the hook is supposed to be. You know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you? Like you had the idea in mind, this is where I want him to come in at, but he comes in over here. This is what I really wanted him to rhyme about, but he rhymes about something totally different. Has that ever happened?
Well, so normally when I do my stuff, I don't really tell people what to rhyme about. But the first thing you said was right on the money, because I always get people like, yo, where's the hook start? And I'm like, you rapping over the hook. They're like, well, you got to stress the beat out. And it's like, no, but you was talking so much in the beginning, you came in late. You should have came in after the fourth of the bar, so where the verse starts, so that the hook would have came in perfectly, because it would have been an even 16. So I'm one of those type of dudes. I get that all the time, but I wouldn't say not really all the time, because a lot of times I might just do a loop and I might not have a specific type of hook on my joint. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, like, I'll change it up for the hook so it could sound different. You know what I mean?
Got you. So now, when I first heard of you, and I had big jaw love because y'all did a wonderful job with that project, Stoop Rebel Murder.
Yeah, fat shouts to him. That's my guy.
Word up. Well, how'd you link up with him?
Stoop is originally from Harlem. He lives in Virginia Beach now. I used to live in Virginia Beach, and we didn't link up in Virginia Beach, but that alone, like, knowing he was from there and stuff like that. Like, basically, I was on Instagram one day and I had typed in STO, like I was typing in somebody else's name, and I seen his picture pop up. I think I pressed the wrong thing, and he's there rapping like the first joint. I'm like, who is this? He sound kind of hard. Like, he sound like he on some Dipset type of flow. So I automatically DM'd him and I'm like, yo, what's good, bro? And I figured out that Stoop was a Wu-Tang affiliate. So I'm like, oh, okay. Started doing a little bit more work with him, and like, Stoop has done stuff with like Sons of Man and stuff. So I'm like, okay, all right, you know what I mean? So from that day on, it was like a marriage, bro. And me and him has did 5 albums since then. So
right, got you. So you prefer to produce full projects from top to bottom rather than just give a beat here to this artist, to that artist, or what have you?
Yeah. But recently, I mean, it's been like that where one person will have a beat of mine on their album, and it'll be full of other people's beats. But I like sometimes tapping in with like a artist and like just seeing what they can do on a full album with me, because a lot of times my albums are like themes.
Right.
So Angels, that was a theme. You know what I mean? Hell's Angels 2, that's another theme. So it's all about Hell's Angels, literally, you know what I mean? And like, if you listen to the album, you hear like the scariness and all the stuff that I put in. I'm a very theme type person. Like, I feel like I can't do an album unless it's based on some type of theme. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those type of tell a story. You know what I mean?
So how'd you link up with E14? Was it just being in the neighborhood or?
E14, yeah. I seen him randomly in the neighborhood. I didn't know if that was really him. I had to go on IG and look at his face, and I was like, that is him. So I went right back into the corner store I seen him in, and he was just like, oh, it's good. I gave him a card at one point, 2019. I ain't hear from him. Then I seen him riding a bike one day, and I'm like, yo, bro, you know what I mean? I told you I got beats for you. Still ain't hear from him. Seen him in the corner store at 3 a.m. buying a Dutch. I'm like, bro, I got beats for you, bro. And he's like, yo, yeah, I always see you around. Yo, give me a card. I felt like at that point, he felt like he had to link up because he kept seeing me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And literally, like, I was sleeping like October 2020 last year. I was doing something, I was sleeping or whatever, like in the midday. And I had sent him beats, and we had already talked, but I didn't hear from him for like a whole year. I didn't know what was going on. And then boom, he put 2 beats on his album that I gave him, recorded videos for them. I was like, oh, and he tagged me in it. I was like, yo, that was dope. I was getting like 30, mad people hit me up like, yo, Spec, did you see what happened? I'm like, no, I didn't see what happened. I was asleep. And I looked at my phone. I had mad notifications, and they was all telling me that E14 had, recorded on your beat, and he had put a video out, and the blogs was talking about it. I was pretty happy.
Now, did he break you off any paper from the album sales, or that was just on the arm?
That was on the arm. A lot of times people would think that like every beat you got to sell, but if you end up thinking you gonna sell every beat or not give away some freebies, you're not gonna be. Think about how many people are out here giving away free beats when you asking for bread. Like, okay, this guy's asking for bread. I could probably find 10 other dudes that sound just like this dude, and I could get a free beat. So with him, no, not those 2 beats, but now he's working on a full album, and he doing my other beats that's gonna go on his Vocabulary Hercules that's coming out in September. So he's gonna break me off for that one. We already exchanged BMIs and stuff, so we good on that.
You're doing a whole album with him?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole album with him, and he's like 2 of my beats on his upcoming album. So
got you. So how does an underground producer such as yourself make money in this game? Like, what's the best way to do it?
It depends. Like if it's somebody, obviously, if you're trying to get beats to somebody, like that's a little bit more known than you. You're not really trying. If you charging, that's cool. And if they want to pay, that's cool. But I just know that's not usually how it works. You know what I mean? You don't usually send beats to a famous person and they're like, yeah, let me pay you. Like it's not like that. You know what I mean? A lot of times you get your money off of the people that want to work with you. Like the people that be in my inbox and the requests and all that. I'll charge them. Like ain't nobody getting no freebies with that. But if it's somebody that I feel like I could build with, or like, for instance, when I was sending beats to Royal Flush or something like that, or Sadat X, if it's somebody that I feel like I could build with, I'll send it for free. You know what I mean? And we'll talk about the BMI and all that stuff after the fact. You know what I mean? Which it should be talked about first. But we'll talk about that after the fact because I know that even having the opportunity to get you on my beat is more than enough. You know what I mean?
So that opens up more doors. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because most of the time they'll tag you, like they'll be like produced by Retrospec. So it definitely opens up more doors.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was wondering.
Doors open and you figure out like, okay, now that person knows who I am. Then if people come up to you and they want to work with you, you could give them a price. You know what I mean? Because you know who I am. Ain't nothing free over here. You know what I mean? Let's work, but you got to pay me my bread. That's usually how it works out for me.
Now, have you ever sold beats to someone that you just really didn't like lyrically?
Yeah, but they never used them because we had some type of falling out. And I tried to send back the dude's money and he blocked me or whatever. But it was like a weird situation where I was sending him beats and he felt like I wasn't sending him my best beats, but I sent the dude like 15 beats. And he had paid me like a good $5 or whatever he paid me for all those beats. And I was just, because it was one of Stoop's, man. So I was trying to look out for Stoop. And it didn't work out the way it was supposed to.
So what do you do when you get beat blocked, where just nothing is just connecting that day? What is your process for breaking out of that beat block?
Sometimes when I get beats blocked, I might hop on YouTube. You know what I mean? I might roll up something. But a lot of times when I get beats blocked, I might just automatically like just cancel out, like, you know how like the process of elimination, I'll be like, you know what, it's the sample, and I'll change the whole sample. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it might not be the sample. I might go back to it, like a couple hours after and be like, nah, this sounded better. But a lot of times I feel like when I get beat spot, it's something in the beat that's making me not finish it. So I always just change it, whatever it is. It could be the drums. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Make the drums a little bit more complex and they should have been more simple. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So those type of situations.
So I know you're also a fan of the music as well. Who in your genre right now that's in out of your peers, who are you feeling right now beat wise?
Right now, I mean, you got the legend, you got Madlib, you got Alk, you know what I mean? You got Derringer, you got J.R. Swift, Fast Out to J. Yeah, a lot of up and coming people right now that I'm like looking at and getting inspired by and stuff like that, and like just I'm one of those people that like, this is one thing I didn't talk about during the beat spot thing. If I get beat spot, I might hop on YouTube and I might watch a whole bunch of beat making videos. Like I do that a lot, bro. I'll sit down and I watch beat making videos to see if I can maybe get a technique I didn't know about. See if I can maybe learn something I didn't know about. You know what I mean? So I do that a lot.
Always being a student of the craft, right?
Yeah, bro.
Definitely. So who's on your wish list of MCs you want to work with?
I definitely want to get some stuff to Riggs if I can. Rome Streets, you know what I mean? I just did a project with somebody I've been wanting to work with for a minute. His name is Dusty Reynolds. The project was called Latunza. If you ever get a chance to listen to that joint is dope. The project.
That's what I saw you in the video. I did a video, right? I think that's why I saw you.
We did a video with Bub Styles.
Yeah, he got a dope project out too.
And Bub is doing a lot right now too. So I'm definitely rooting for Bubs and the things that he's bringing to the table. He just did something with Yellow Wolf, so he's out here doing a lot. But Bub, AR, Dusty, me and Dusty just put out an album. But people I would want to work with, like I said, if it's Riggs or Rome or even Mock Hami, if I can make that happen. You know what I mean? He's a monster. You know what I mean? So anybody that's really lyrical that I feel like could be in my beats. Even Daniel's son, you know what I mean? Daniel's son from Canada, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people that I'm naming is people that I already hit up in the inbox about beats, and they was like, nah, I don't need any. But this was when I was 2015. This is when I was like a young in the beat shit. So I feel like maybe if I hit up those same people now, it might be a little bit more to talk about. You know what I mean? But back then they wasn't interested because my beats wasn't as polished and they didn't sound as advanced as they sound now. Mm-hmm. I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know about the layering. I didn't know about a lot of shit. So
right. So you feel now you're just a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
And then once this LG project drops, that's also going to elevate your status where they may look at you a little bit more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So before we go, give some advice to the beat makers that's sitting watching this video right now that want to do the same thing you're doing. What would you tell them?
Just kind of stay focused, bro. Don't let nothing kind of veer you somewhere else. To be honest, I'd be really, really uninspired half of the time, but I still get music done. You know what I mean? And try to figure out something that's going to help inspire you. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people will give up a craft or something that they're working on because they're not inspired about it. Right. But if you really hone in your craft and you really, really hone in the love for it, and you're not looking at it as a money type of thing, you know what I mean? You'll be all right. You know what I mean? Find out what works for you. Pick a machine, pick a software, find out what works for you, and figure it out. You know what I mean? Looking. And upgrade, bro. I always tell people to upgrade. This might come from the background that I have because I work at Sam Ash Music, but just upgrade, bro. Like, don't say I'm gonna buy a $100 MIDI controller and then think you good. You might be comfortable with that, but upgrade, man. Try to figure out more stuff. Try to see if you could do more stuff with different hardware or different programs with your beats. You know what I mean? So I would just tell somebody that's looking at me, man, just stay focused, bro. And you know what I mean? Don't try to sound like the next individual, bro. Just have your own style.
So basically, just do you, regardless of whom or what. Just do you. Whatever your style is, whatever, just do you. Because I notice a lot of heads are getting on by just doing them and not caring what anyone has to say, whatever.
Yeah, it's the rules, man. And it's a lot more easier to like reach people now because of the internet than it was back then.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yo, I've definitely been peeping out your work. I had to get you on because this is strictly for my diggers, and I know you a digger. You one of us. You know, I'm just happy to have you on. You know, you and Stu Rubber been doing your thing, man. It's been really dope. That album I heard was really fire. That's why I had to shout y'all out on an earlier YouTube vid I did or whatever. I think it was Instagram, one of them social media platforms or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really I'm liking what you're doing, and you repping the LI very well. You represent very well, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm actually happy that I'm not in LI no more, because when you're in the 5 boroughs, bro, you get more events. Like, you know, a lot. Not everybody. When my name was kind of bubbling in Long Island, not everybody from the 5 boroughs wanted to go all the way out on the LIR and come see me. Niggas was like, yo, why you don't live in Brooklyn? Why you don't live in Queens? Right. And I had to think, yo, why don't I live in Brooklyn? Why don't I live in Queens? So I had to make a move.
Right. So you said you live in Marcy Projects, right?
Nah, I live like a block away from Marcy. I live Marcy and Myrtle.
Okay, got you. That's what's up. Yeah, my dude. Keep up the good work. Let's stay in touch.
Right. We will, brother. We will.
Yeah, let's stay in touch. You know what I mean? Because I got to make a trip up to New York soon anyway. So we could definitely link up when I get up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I was going to actually pitch this idea to you when I was watching the J.R. Swift's interview. Right. Yo, why don't you try to get all of, kind of call it like a strictly for my diggers type of show, and get all of us to like perform.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. It's funny you say that, because that's coming up next, like a panel where we just go what we got. Should we just displaying our beats? Right. Absolutely. That's in the works. That's in the works in the very near future. You, JR, everybody that I got, K Slugger, you know, Flu.
Wavy. He's crazy, bro. Yeah, Wavy's crazy, bro.
Yeah, we get all of them together, you know what I'm saying, on a big Zoom, and we just going through what we made this week or whatever, you know, chopping up game and all of that. I think that'd be really, really fly. I think the viewers would love to see that.
That'll be hard.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
That'll be dope. You know what I mean? And that does well, then maybe possibly that joint could turn into like an in-person type of thing, and we could get like a venue and we could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like the way you're thinking. Definitely. Most definitely, yeah, definitely. Because I'll definitely
sir.
come up there. Because I now reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. You in NC? All right.
Yeah, but that ain't nothing. Yeah, we could definitely do something like that and build on that. Word up.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Good.
Once again, yo, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate that. Strictly for my diggers.
I thought about
Huh?
hell yeah. I thought about the text earlier and shit with my phone. You know what I mean? I thought about that earlier.
Yeah. It's all good. Because sometimes you're going in and out, but overall, it was definitely a dope interview. You know what I mean? Definitely a dope interview. You dropped a lot of jewels.
Recently, like a month and a half ago, I dropped my phone in water, and I thought all the water is out of it, but I guess not. So I don't know.
What, with your iPhone?
Yeah. I put it in rice and all that, and most people say they can hear me, but some people do say I go in and out. But as long as, for the most part, everything I'm saying is kind of being documented, we good.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. So yo, my dude, continue making that fire. We'll definitely keep in touch. Thank you for being on Strictly for My Diggers. Salute.
All right, my G. Salute. Thank you for having me, bro.
That's right. Peace.
All right, peace.
I'm gonna tell you now, I ain't no holy individual, but I am righteous. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna steal from you, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm gonna tell